They say mirrors never lie, but they also never forget. Welcome to week 3 of Spooky Month, where we're not running from the monsters anymore. We're inviting them in for tea and asking what they're trying to tell us. This week we're gazing into our haunted reflections, the creatures born from denial, pain, pride, and the parts of us that whisper, "I'm still here." So dim the lights, light a candle, and get ready. Not every haunting comes to harm you. Some come to wake you. I want to make it clear that I am not a licensed professional. Everything I share on Blooming Theories comes from my personal beliefs, my lived experiences, and the lessons I've learned along the way. My goal is to reach people who have walked through similar things, to let them know they're not alone, and to hopefully bring understanding not just for them, but also for the partners and loved ones who walk alongside them. The Doppelganger. In legend, the doppelganger is your perfect twin. Same face, same mannerisms, but no soul. It appears before a turning point, a crisis, or transformation. Seeing it isn't a curse, it's a confrontation. Shadow lesson. The doppelganger teaches us about the danger of self-deception. How often do you mirror the world just to belong? Its eerie grin asks one question. If you met yourself today, would you even recognize who you've become? The Spider Queen, Arachne. A mortal weaver who rivaled the goddess Athena, Arachne's pride turned artistry into punishment. She was transformed into a spider, forever spinning webs as reminders of what happens when the talent forgets its humility. Shadow lesson. The Spider Queen warns against weaving your identity from comparison. When you create from your ego, your art becomes your cage. She teaches you spin from the truth, not from validation, or risk getting caught in your own threads. The Siren. This is my favorite one, by far. Once celestial beings of song, the sirens were cursed to become half bird, half woman, doomed to lure sailors to their doom with melodies of despair and desire. Their songs weren't meant to kill, they were cries of longing, twisted by fear. Shadow lesson. The siren reminds you that seduction isn't always about romance. Sometimes it's about control. When you manipulate to feel safe or loved, you drown in your own performance. She teaches, reclaim your voice. Don't sing for validation. Sing for liberation. The Marionette. The marionette was adored for her grace, moved only when pulled by her master's strings. When her puppeteer vanished, she hung lifeless, realizing she had never moved by choice. Shadow lesson. The marionette teaches that dependence disguised as love will always end in silence. Cutting your strings means disappointing someone, but keeping them means disappearing completely. Freedom is messy, awkward, and terrifying, but it's the only dance worth doing. The Shadow Man. He's the tall figure in your peripheral vision, the silhouette that vanishes when you turn your head. He doesn't chase, he waits, because he knows you'll eventually have to face what you buried. Shadow lesson. The Shadow Man is an embodiment of suppressed emotion. He isn't your enemy, he's your unspoken truth wearing a cloak. When you finally face him, he dissolves, because darkness doesn't need to be destroyed, it just needs to be understood. The Hollow Girl. Once full of light and laughter, the Hollow Girl loved so deeply that when she broke, she emptied herself completely. Now she drifts between reflections, smiling beautifully while feeling nothing at all. Shadow lesson. The Hollow Girl teaches us that numbness isn't peace, it's the body's last defense against heartbreak. But you can't heal what you refuse to feel, she whispers. Don't confuse absence with calm. Even ghosts can look composed. Here's some reflection prompts to help us heal. Number 1, which monsters feel the most familiar right now? Number 2, what mask or illusion do you wear to stay accepted? Number 3, who or what still holds your emotional strings? Number 4, what part of your truth are you most afraid to face? And number 5, what would healing sound like if it had your voice? Mirrors never show the full picture, just the surface brave enough to face the light. This week's lesson isn't about fighting the monsters, it's about listening to them. They are not here to curse you, they are the echoes of every time you silenced yourself to survive. The doppelganger isn't evil, it's your reflection begging for honesty. The siren isn't sinful, she just forgot her song. The hollow girl isn't broken, she's just waiting to feel again. Healing doesn't always look like light, sometimes it looks like sitting in the dark and finally saying, I see me. Until next time, my spooky souls, remember, the mirror can't haunt you once you make peace with the person staring back. Until next time.